Ugh. Hi, I'm Seth. I'm Tekken God rank right now. As of recording this video, there are 14 Tekken God rank players online in the world. In America, there are a total of 4. And this is obviously a bit of a problem. Generally, the ranked matchmaking and how the rank system works in general, I think is an improvement over Season 1. One big problem I had in Season 1 is you would occasionally get players who were, maybe when crossplay and the crossplay wasn't working. Maybe it said they were wired, but it felt like they were playing Wi-Fi. Or maybe they were just a cheater. And you would lose, and then you would leave, and then you would play another set. And even if that set if you ended up losing 2 games in that set, then you would get a loss streak penalty. And because of that, the one game that you played before carried a lot of consequence with it when it really shouldn't. Or let's also say, in a hypothetical example, you lost a set and it was they won and then you won and then they won. Then if you lose the next game 2-0, you get a major point loss for it. It felt really random and didn't make a lot of sense. I think there are a lot of improvements to the ranked matchmaking because of that, the rank system. I also think that the way that points are generally distributed, that ranked more reflects just how strong a player is also neat. At God of Destruction level, there were certainly, I could feel, varying levels of a God of Destruction player, and now I feel like that if I'm playing against someone who's Tekken God or TGS, it's a much better reflection of someone's actual skill, just because the rank system feels a lot less random and in a lot of cases a lot less abusable. The problem though is that there are so few people online that you can't really play the game. It's gotten to a point where you have some high-level players that are making Smurf accounts, not to Smurf and play against low-level players, but so that they can just play the game. The thing is with rank, that people that were ranked God of Destruction back in Season 1 are kind of spread out in the rank system between being some of Bushin, and then some you have at TGS, and then of course you have the few greats that right now that God of Destruction. So there's this very wide spread of players that were all around the same rank back in Season 1 that you just kind of get cut off from playing if you're at a higher rank, and this causes a lot of issues. One qualm I have too with how the rank system works is how points are distributed if you're playing against someone that's one rank higher or lower than you. To me, it feels like the way that rank points are distributed makes it feel like someone that's one rank higher or lower than you is in a completely different division than you. And a lot of times this isn't the case. Yeah, generally someone who's Tekken God is going to be stronger than someone who's Tekken Emperor right now, but at the same time, it's not like that difference in skill is so large that it warrants such a big difference in point distribution. It feels to me that the person who's higher rank is getting punished a lot more for losing to someone that's one lower rank than them, disproportionately to the difference in the actual skill between the two players. So this feels really bad when you also consider right now there is not a single person online at the moment that is TGS rank. So if you are someone that's TGS rank and you pop in the ranked, then you're going to be going up against a bunch of Tekken gods, which, keep in mind, is about 0.1% of the player base right now. And then if you end up losing to them, then it's going to be disproportional the rank points you lose compared to the difference in skill. Because let's face it, if you're TGS, you're a very strong player, but the difference between someone that's Tekken God and TGS isn't going to be that high because you're kind of fighting the same people. So there's a lot of inconsistencies in how ranked works, even though I think the rank system is better. And it leads to a lot of problems where people just kind of can't find matches at higher rank. And this decentivizes ranking up. I can tell you personally, even though I don't play ranked, I've been tempted to go into ranked and intentionally derank just so I can find more games. it's gotten that bad where I feel like I have to actually rank down because I'm so high rank that I can't find players. That's not how a rank system should work. There should never come a point where you feel incentivized to rank yourself down because just of how the matchmaking is and how long the matchmaking times are. And this is where quick match should come into play. Because quick match is quick match. The point of it is so that you can find games quickly. And yeah, not always are there going to be someone against someone that's of your exact skill, but relatively somewhere around where your skill level is. And like what I was saying before, because God of Destruction's back in Season 1 are so spread out between various ranks, it should be good for finding people that are relatively your level when you're at Tekken God or TGS or one of these ranks without having to wait for the long queue times. And even if you're lower rank too, I can tell you back when I wasn't God of Destruction back in the good old Tekken 7 days, my thoughts on it were that I would play against someone that's, you know, around my skill level usually. Sometimes I would get people that are lower level, but sometimes I would get people that are much higher level too. And being able to get that experience isn't something that I can do in ranked and is very valuable for being able to test things out, for you to evaluate like where your level is if you don't just grind ranked all day. Which is me. I don't really particularly care for ranked. I'm the highest level casual player on the planet. And the problem now with quick match is that you can't do that. Quick match is no longer quick because of the rank restriction that's in place now, and it defaults to plus or minus 1 rank. So what ends up happening now, again, if you're like at my rank, if you're at Tekken God rank and you go in the quick match, then you can't find a game. I can tell you from my own personal experience, it's taken me like 15-20 minutes to find a game. I'm East Coast US. It takes me longer to find a game in quick match in Tekken 8 than it takes me to find a game in Soul Calibur 6, a game that has less than 200 concurrent players on at a time. Well, I have the Shanghua shirt on. By the way, play Soul Calibur. So it creates this awful situation where it's like, you can't play ranked because you're just going to be deathmatching the same person over and over again, and frankly, that gets kind of boring. And honestly, it doesn't really reflect what your skill level is, what your rank is when you're at those ranks if you're just deathmatching the same person over and over and over again, because you're not getting a good sample size of like generally what a Tekken God level player is. And we could go on and on and on about this. I won't. But then you go in the quick match and you still can't find a game because of the rank restrictions. And this wasn't really a problem back in Season 1 because while yes, it did try to prioritize what rank you were when finding an opponent, or what your Tekken prowess was, its priority was finding you a game, right? So it would do its best at finding someone that's around your level, but if it can't find someone that's around your level, it's just if there's no one online, then it would just match you with someone with a little bit of a broader scope, with a bit of a broader like area of ranks or skill level or whatever you would call it. And that I think worked out perfectly. I don't think there were any real complaints about that. There were a lot of times back before they changed the matchmaking at some point so that like prioritized your actual rank more. Where I was God of Destruction, I would play against Tekken Kings a lot. And I think that was fine because even though there is a big gap in ranks, it's not so great that the other person has absolutely no chance of winning. And it gives them the opportunity to play against someone at a much higher level than they would be able to in ranked. There are plenty of people that at Tekken King, Tekken Emperor, Bushin, or whatever in Season 1 that were at those ranks couldn't really push past, and it doesn't give them the opportunity to play against God of Destruction level players. And this can also go back into like lower ranks as well. Let's say that you're at Mighty Ruler. Let's say that you grind out ranked, you kind of float between like Mighty Ruler and Flame Ruler, you go into quick match and ooh, I get to play against a Kishin or a Bushin or something. That's not something you normally get to do. So it's a unique aspect of the quick match where you are able to occasionally play against essentially boss players. And I think for a lot of people, there's enjoyment in that. That's fun. I don't have a lot of the time where people will just one and done me because, oh, I'm too high of a rank. Most of the time, especially with deathmatching, they'll want a deathmatch because the experience is valuable. And now you just don't have that. Yes, you can turn off the rank restriction, but when it's defaulted to plus or minus 1, a lot of people don't. Or maybe a lot of people just ignore it, or people forget to change the setting, or whatever. And when you're continuously finding matches at, say, Tekken King or Bushin because there are just more players, then why turn it off? And so now it feels like I'm just complaining because, like, I'm the one that's struggling because of this to actually be able to play the game, which is partly true. But you remove that aspect of quick match, and it also hurts players who are maybe at a higher rank that aren't able to find games. It kind of defeats the entire purpose of what quick match is supposed to be, and it just makes the game less fun to play because, well, you can't play the game. And this is like a non-issue. You know, that's the other thing that gets me too. I don't think anyone was really complaining about the like rank restrictions in quick match. Yeah, sometimes it would go weird and I would end up playing against like a red rank player. That would happen very rarely. But I've never seen anyone complain about, I go in the quick match and I play against people at too high or too low rank. Just, it's not something that happens. So it's created an issue when there was no issue in the first place. It's one of the weirdest changes that I've seen, and as someone that primarily plays quick match, it has really hampered my enjoyment of the game because it's stopped me from really being able to play the game. It's also created this problem where I feel like if I ever get matched against someone, I'm forced to deathmatch them even if I don't want to, even if it's like a cross-play Wi-Fi law player that's fluctuating between 3 and 5 bars. I kind of have to deathmatch them because if I don't, they're the only person I'm going to get matched with anyway, so I'm going to have to play against them again. And also if I don't, and that doesn't happen, I have to wait another 15 minutes to find the game. So it's just bad for everyone. And this kind of comes back to what I was saying at the beginning, where people are just now creating Smurf accounts to be able to play the game. It's not because people want to play against low-level players, but they just want to play the game. And at the end of the day, Tekken God players, or not Tekken God, Tekken King players are Realm of God Destruction was in Season 1 anyway, at least right now. So you're not really playing against people that are much weaker than you if you create a new account and get up to Tekken King and just use that to find games. So what's the point of this option? It's very confusing to me. It's perplexing. Now, my solution to this, of course, would just be get rid of the rank restriction thing. I don't think it really benefits anyone. There's no point to it, and it just harms the ability for people to be able to play the game. And maybe I'm wrong about this. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe you all who play quick match was sick of like the ranked distribution and the ranks you would get when playing quick match, and maybe you prefer this. I don't know. I've never seen an issue with it. I've never had an issue with it. Maybe my perspective is different because I was God of Destruction, but it just doesn't seem to do anything and just creates more problems than it solves, and it doesn't really solve any problems. But then again, like, we talk about ranked and everything too, and just the whole way that the matchmaking system works and the rank system works now. It's like I said before, decentralized ranking up. So right now, you only have people that God of Destruction, and really you can't rank up from there because there's no one at God of Destruction, and we're a month into the season right now. Someone is definitely going to become God of Destruction or Ouroboros at some point before the season ends. But why would you? If matchmaking is already this difficult at Tekken God, I imagine that people that are at God of Destruction are going to have similar issues. And in fact, a lot of people that I see at God of Destruction have stopped playing the character and are playing other characters just so, again, they can play the game, which shouldn't be an issue, especially for a game with crossplay that has over 4,000 concurrent players on PC alone. This just shouldn't be a problem. So if we're assuming that the game treats the God of Destruction 1 through Ouroboros ranks as separate ranks, which they probably do, then if you actually got to that rank, it would be impossible to find a game, because there's probably only going to be a handful of people in the world, not online at the same time at that rank, but just in general on that rank, kind of like how God of Destruction is right now. So if I was playing ranked, I wouldn't want to get to God of Destruction 1 Bros. I wouldn't want to get to God of Destruction 3, because it's just going to make my enjoyment of the game lower, and it's going to make the amount of games I could play lower, and it's going to make it so that I can't practice and I can't play unless I have friends that I can play the game with. Again, just something that shouldn't really happen. So how do we fix this issue? How do we fix all these problems that we have with like ranked and quick match and all of that? Well, I think the thing to focus on in ranked is just maybe changing the amount of points that you gain and lose. Make it more proportional to the rank. Make it percentage based on how far away the rank is, or just do something with it to make it so that people can actually move up and down. Because yes, right now rank is indicative of like where you're at, but people shouldn't be stuck at like Tekken God, TGS, God of Destruction, you know. People, that's kind of what the new ranks are for, right? So why don't we have it so that those people are like at the God of Destruction 5, 6, 7 or whatever it is? And then with the higher ranked players, just make it so that God of Destruction 0 through Ouroboros is all just the same in the game system. So that way we don't have this problem of like Tekken Kings that are basically God of Destruction Season 1, but you can't match against them because they're so low. Just get rid of that. Just make it so that the God of Destruction levels aren't individual separate ranks, but instead it's just all part of the one rank God of Destruction, but it shows essentially your win rate against other people that are around God of Destruction. I think that would make a lot more sense and would also alleviate the problem in quick match, where even with the rank restriction you can't find any games, because now the player pool of people that are at those higher ranks goes from being 4 at Tekken God and then like 0 at TGS to all of a sudden encompassing basically everyone who's anywhere from Tekken King to God of Destruction right now, which would be a large amount of people. It would be much more than it is right now. I don't actually have the exact numbers, but I assume it would be somewhere around like 60, which still isn't a lot, but it's enough to actually get the matchmaking to function. And then you don't have to mess with all of the quick match stuff. This, in my opinion, would kind of fix all of the issues that we have right now. But the other thing too with quick match, my suggestion is just, like I said, remove it. Remove the rank restriction. There's just no rhyme or reason for it. I don't think it fixes any issues. And again, let me know if you think it makes sense. Let me know if you like it, because I might have a different opinion on it than most people. I might be blind to some of the issues that there were in Season 1 because I was God of Destruction. Maybe there are issues. Maybe if you're like at blue ranks, the discrepancy is a lot and this actually helps. I don't know. But even if you would keep the rank restriction, I think that there also maybe could be something where if someone's waiting for a long time, then it bypasses the restriction and just allows you to match with someone. That could also be a thing, because again, the name of it is quick match. It's essentially quick match right now is ranked, but with infinite rematching. And that's not good when there are so few people online. So there are a lot of problems. There are a lot of problems with the matchmaking right now, and with ranked and with quick match and all of that. And for me, this has been the biggest like hurdle in actually being able to play and enjoy the game. It's not even the change in Season 2. It's not even anything particular in Season 2. It's just that the matchmaking stops you from being able to play the game. If I can find a game faster in a game with under 200 people than I can in a game with 4,000 people and crossplay, then there's a bit of a problem. And I think that's very much reflected in how people are feeling at higher ranks about being able to find games, why people are making Smurf accounts just so that they can play the game, and just in the general frustration of having to wait in the queue for like 15 minutes, and then you have higher level players that even higher me, like TGS, God of Destruction, that are talking about it on Twitter, and it is an issue that needs to be addressed, and it should be fixed. So anyway, bit of a different video from my normal guides. I like these discussion videos, so I'll try to keep them coming if whenever I have the inspiration to do one. But yeah, anyway, thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe down below. I'm trying to do that more now because apparently it works. And anyway, I'm gonna stop being annoying now, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.